Hi there, I'm Chris, and this is actually the third time that I'm trying to record this video, so I hope third time's the charm, but I guess we'll see, so let's get on with it. So hi there, I'm Christoph, also now known as The Reading Crisis. Many of you may be wondering, what is this video? What is the channel? Who am I? Many of you may know me from my subscribers because I used to be in the video editing sphere of YouTube. This channel was actually created like 2010, I guess, so it has been a long time that I've been on this platform. On and off, obviously. You may know me from my other names such as Anderson, Zanda24Edek, Edward. Now you can meet me like kind of face to face because I haven't met many of you like that. Hi there, I'm Christoph, and now I'm changing the content on my channel to BookTube. I'm The Reading Crisis. In the past, I used to be a video editor. I edited with movies, TV series, games, anime, manga, fan art, and it has been one of my biggest hobbies, video editing. I'm changing the content of my channel, and I wanted to see how it goes on this journey of BookTube. First, some information about what this video is. This video is a Booktube Newbie Tag. Booktube Newbie Tag was actually originated by Brenda C. in, I think, 2015. At least that's what a quick Google research tells me. It's a set of like around 10 questions about all things book content. It's like kind of a tag that helps you create that first kind of batch of content, that will be interesting to people. So it has been going around for years, and I wanted to jump on the bandwagon in 2023 because why not? So why do I want to do this tag? I want to reintroduce myself in the YouTube sphere as less of a video editor, even though I added my videos. I wanted to like reintroduce myself as a more of a booktuber. Also, tags are just fun. So let's get on with the question. The first question is, why did you start this channel? So I have two answers. It's never simple with me. Why I created this channel back in 2010 is actually my original account got suspended. Why did I create the original channel and this channel? It's because I wanted to share my passion with other people, because YouTube was a great community for video editors, especially like fandoms, and I would participate in multiple editors projects. I would create anime music videos, game music videos, typography edits, and I really enjoyed it. It has been with me since I was like a 10 or 11 young boy, and I really love the creation side of video editing and how I can put my ideas onto the screen. And I really like exploring that side of my creativity. Why I wanted to start BookTube, even though editing has been a big passion of mine, I kind of fell out of love with it. I lost a lot of my passion for it simply because it is, even though it's fun, it's also daunting with deadlines, and also it drains creativity pretty quickly. So I had problems with motivation. I kind of realized that I missed it, even though I know I cannot video edit like I used to when I was younger because I have more responsibilities right now. I have a full-time job now, so it's different times, so I don't have that much time to dedicate to editing. But I was like, hey, I already read books, I already watch BookTube, why don't I just connect these two things? The next question is, what are some fun and unique things you can bring to BookTube? I hope my personality, well, I don't have one, but I want to shout out underrated authors. Don't get me wrong, I have nothing against the popular authors, but I also want to give some love to the ones that are not seen by the publishing industry, and I have to either indie publish or self-publish to also uplift them. I know my voice may not count as much, but I want to give them a shout out either way. The second thing is a lot of gay stories. I love me some queer stories, especially set in the fantasy world. We don't have enough of those, never. And I want to share with you guys my joy of reading and also my joy of discovering new and emerging authors. The next question, what are you most excited about with starting this YouTube channel? So actually I'm most excited that I have space to talk about all things books, both the negative and the positive. I have other friends, I talk with them about books. I talk to my boyfriend a lot, especially about books I disliked. I also wanted to have a more open space for conversation, to start some conversations, to participate in them. And also it just looks very fun. So I'm just excited to start the journey, and I'm also excited for my boyfriend because he won't have to endure so much ranting from me anymore if I have this outlet for my thoughts. The next question is, why do I love reading? Obviously I love the escapism part of it, I love getting lost in the world, but one thing that I really love, and one thing that I also I like to study that thing, not only in books but overall in the world, is language. Reading and writing is essentially language, and how do you interpret language? What words do you use to emphasize a certain point? How do you understand that point? How do you make your thoughts clear so that the other person can understand them? So I really love starting conversations with people that, for example, love the same book as me, and then describe one scene, and then I can discuss one scene with them, and actually I understood one scene differently from them. I took something else from the scene, from the dialogue, than they did, and then I go online and see that this line was actually talked thoroughly online, and it means something different. And it doesn't mean that any of our interpretations are wrong, it's just that the author used this set of words in this set of language. I also like reading translated fiction, but that's also a topic for another day, because translation of fiction is kind of hard and I respect the translators for that, but overall I just really enjoy conversation about language, and also not only books dealing with languages, but overall how authors convey their meaning through words they've used. The next question is, what book series or book got me into reading? Again, never simple with me, I have two answers. The first one is what initially got me into reading was, but drumroll please, Percy Jackson and the Olympians series by Riordian. It should come as no surprise to many of you, because this has been a story for many people on the internet. Urban Fantasy made a great series about a world with mythical creatures, with gods in it, with like heroes. It was very fascinating to me as a young child, especially as a young child very much interested in mythology. I was really captivated by the books. As you can see, I have Polish edition of them. I think the Polish edition is stunning. These are the spines, and these are the books. This is the Lightning Thief, this is the Sea of Monsters, this is the Curse of the Titan, this is the Battle of the Labyrinth, and this is the Last Olympian. The Percy Jackson series came in this like cute little box. It was like a mini collector's edition back in like 2010, I would say, and it's very cute, and it stays on my bookshelf because it's so cute and it's in a pretty nice condition. And I'm thankful for that collection, because my sister told me you can buy one thing from the store and it has to be from the book section. So I grabbed this one and I kind of cheated with it, but it happens to be like one of the best decisions I've made. I also started rereading them, because obviously when I was younger I was looking for different things in books. I understood less of the word, but now reading them back is an interesting story. For now I've only reread the first one, so the Lightning Thief, and I gave it 4 stars. The rest are still yet to be read because my TBR got real crazy. So initially Percy Jackson by Riordian got me into reading, like I would read a lot. After that I wouldn't read as much because life got in the way, school got in the way, and you know, I just lost interest, didn't have enough time. I preferred watching movies, I preferred playing games, I preferred a lot of different hobbies, and I didn't have time for reading books that much. I would read, I got a Christian novel here and there, like 2 books a year maybe, and obviously some school reading. But then I started watching BookTube. And after a while I was like, okay, I see what the people are saying, I'm kind of getting interested in more reading again. It didn't start up until November 2022, when I've heard about a book and I wanted to read immediately. So even though I didn't know how to really acquire English books in Poland because it was a new release, I've seen it was available as an audiobook, and I grabbed it. Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow by Gabrielle, Zevin. A lot of people talking about this book, and I was like, okay, this is something that can get me back into reading. I was not wrong. I gave it 5 stars, and it is still one of my favorite books of all time yet. I got initially interested in it simply because it dealt with a matter that was important to me, which was game dev. Because I haven't seen much game development representation in books at all. So I was really intrigued by that because I work in game development. I am part of that industry for quite some time now, and I also played a lot of games as a child. So this book was like, okay, let me see what it's all about. And it was awesome. It was just a journey. It was a sad journey, a devastating one, but I loved every second of it. This book is about 2 friends who have been kind of friends since childhood. They had a falling out and they hadn't talked in a while, but then randomly they meet each other on a metro station, and it goes from there. And the one thing that they share very deeply with each other is their passion for games and their passion for also creating games, and they want to create a dream game and they want to do it actually together. So this book is very important. It talks a lot about the creative process behind video games. It talks a lot about platonic relationships and relationships in general in your life. It talks a lot about depression, how certain people can shape your life without you even knowing that. And also that one chapter, people who have read it, this one chapter it broke me. Even though the audiobook experience of that was not perfect. That's why I have a physical copy. First of all, because I love the cover. Second of all, I love the book. But third is that I want to reread that book soon and also maybe annotate it. That would be fun. I wanted to see it in a physical form. The narrator in the audiobook was alright, but the story just didn't flow as well because of some portion of the text more dealing with the technical stuff of game development. I would really recommend that book. I love it. And after that book, I would read like one book a week. I would get on my grind. This book rekindled my love for reading again. So thank you, Gabrielle, Zevin, and thank you, Booktube, for introducing this author and this book to me. So thank you very much. The next question is kinda meta, but here we go. Is what kind of question would you ask your favorite booktubers? The first question I will ask is, how do you manage to read so much while having a full-time job? Because I understand if YouTube and Booktube or BookTok or whatever content creation is your kind of job, then I understand why you read so much and why you have so much time. Even for like people with part-time jobs, I have so much respect for you if you manage to read so much, also record that, also edit that. That's so much work. I really have a lot of respect. Next question is, how do you manage to stay so funny and fresh? Like one of my favorites was like Meg with books. With her editing, she's always so funny. She's witty, she's fast.
She's got a point, she's an icon, she's a legend, and she is the moment. Now come on now.
I really enjoy listening to her thoughts, but also seeing this on screen, what memes would she use, what iconic scenes would she put in that context, and I love her content, and she has been doing it for a long time, and she stays funny all the time, or like so unique and fresh, like How to Train Your Gavin. He's also funny, but his video concepts are so hard to pull off, but also so creative, and I love how he approaches book content and how can you like push the boundaries of it. And I really love his long series. I love listening to them while playing games. So the last question I would ask is, what is your most hated book? Because I would love to read it. I love pain. Favorite books are a big topic on YouTube, like my favorite book of all time, my favorites of the year, my hits, my biggest surprises. I also want to talk about the negative aspects of books. Why you dislike a particular book can also be just as constructive as the positive feedback of the book. The books that you dislike can shape your life in many different forms, maybe not as much as the ones you loved and adored and are obsessed with, but they kind of shape your taste, like why did you dislike it? Was it similar to this or that? Why wasn't the reading experience more fun, I guess? One of the channels that inspired me to start BookTube was Reads with Rachel, because I randomly got recommended by YouTube her video, I think, on Lightlark, and I was so surprised to see a YouTuber, a booktuber, speak their mind about a book they did not like. And even though it's kind of scary, especially with a popular book, especially with a more bigger fandom, I really appreciate her for doing that, because it kind of opened my eyes that you can be kind of negative about books. If I hate a book, it doesn't mean I hate the people who liked it or that I hate the author. I'm only saying that this work of fiction or non-fiction, this work of writing was not of my taste. I didn't like it, I thought it was this and that, but that doesn't mean I want to send hate to the author, I want to say hate to the author or the people who liked it. No. I just want to have a constructive discussion about themes, about language, about plot of the book, especially between two sides, the people who loved the book and hated the book. It's always nice to have a different kind of point of view. I love to listen to people rant about books they disliked, and I don't know, but yeah, I would love to hear the most hated kind of books of the booktubers as well. The next question is, what challenges do you think with starting this BookTube channel will be the hardest to overcome? The hardest for me will be consistency in uploading and in creating content. Because in the past I used to be not so great friends with deadlines. I would always find excuses, I would always find some better things to do. Even though I like doing what I'm supposed to be doing, my brain is like, nope. So I want to stay on top of the schedule that I would set myself up. And also a new challenge for me would be to not let the pressure of all the booktubers, of the fandoms, of the bookish community to overwhelm me. So even though there's a very popular book that is talked about everywhere, maybe I don't want to read it and I need to kind of check myself and, hey, do I want to read that book, or is it just the pressure of people around me and people in the community that put on me that, hey, I should read this book, I should talk about this book? Because first and foremost, I read for my own entertainment. I really want to grow a thicker skin when it comes to pressure around me in the bookish community. The next question is, when did you start reading? I started reading originally when I was, I think, 10 or 11 years old, maybe even younger. But recently I came back to reading books like more seriously in November 2022 with Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow. The next question is, where do you read? Well, I like to read in a lot of random spots. I love reading in nature, most of all. For example, on the beach, in a forest, on a bench somewhere in the park. I love the ambience, even though sometimes it's too loud for me to read. I like to find a quiet spot outside to read. But if it's not possible, then on my sofa, on my bed before sleep. When it comes to audiobook, I love listening to them whenever I have the time. So whenever I'm cooking, whenever I'm about running my errands, whenever I have like 15 minutes to spare, I would pop on an audiobook instead of, like, for example, a YouTube video. Also, one fun fact, I also like reading while walking, which is kind of weird, I guess. When I was studying at a university, I would actually study while walking in my room. I would actually walk around the room with my nose like that and read them all out, and it would be the best kind of studying method for me. It's kind of also a position that I sometimes use. The last question of the book tag is, what kind of books do you like to read? I like reading a plethora of different genres and demographics, but some of our favorites are like fantasy, I like mystery and thriller, are coming of age young adult stories, or like any kind of game dev adjacent stories, either non-fiction or fiction. And also recently dark academia. Some of my favorites include likes of Babel by R.F. Kuang, Crook Kingdom and the Six of Crow duology by Lee Bardugo, Red, White and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston, Heartstopper by Alice Osman. This is my favorite volume, volume 4. Also one book that I do not own physically, but I used to own it in my family home, is Murder on the Orient Express by Agatha Christie. Also, at this honorable mentions, I wanted to ask my favorite booktubers what their most hated books were. So I should also come out with mine, right? So the first one I'll mention is Simon vs. the Homo Sapiens Agenda by Becky Albertelli. I really dislike this book, but actually my boyfriend likes it, so don't tell him. And the second one is the Infinity Son book and also the whole cycle by Adam Silvera. Even though I really enjoy his writing, I loved They Both Die at the End. This urban fantasy series was bad. One of the first videos I've recorded ever on my phone actually about books was my rant review of this book. So maybe I'll rework that one, maybe not. Again, a disclaimer, I dislike the book. I don't dislike the authors. I don't dislike the people who like the books. I'm just sharing my opinion about the books and the experience of reading them. So I think that's it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you liked the video enough to subscribe so I'm not alone on this booktube journey. I would love for you to come along. And also for all the people who used to know me and now are like, what is this content? I hope you stay. But I totally understand if you are not interested in that kind of content. I totally get it. But also tell me what you would like to know about me. What question would you ask me? I would love to answer them either in the comments below or in a separate video, depending on the sheer amount of them, right? So I've been Chris, the Reading Crisis, and thank you so much for watching again. And I hope you stay to watch more content just like this one. So have a great day and bye!